Hey y'all, it's friendly neighborhood therapist. So let's just get into it because I have been inboxed, I have been tagged. This Kendra story on TikTok, the woman who was discussing falling in love with her psychiatrist. Y'all, I took notes. I did not watch all her videos. The number of videos she did alone is a problem to me because it seems obsessive a little bit. I mean, you could tell your story. I'm all for people telling their story. When Ressa Tessa told her story, I was here for every part of it. But in this case, anyway, look, I'm going to try to be professional about this and give y'all the professional side of this. And I know other professionals have already spoken on it, and so have a lot of other people who I follow. And some of the takes I fully agree with and respect, and some I'm like, let's be careful. But let me point out a couple things real quick. One, I cannot diagnose that woman. I've not talked to her personally, and I have not assessed her, so I can't do that. We cannot do that. But because she made her story public, I can give my professional opinion. Okay? Let me be clear. I am not diagnosing her, but I am giving my professional opinion about diagnosis. Okay? Now, next, there are three sides to every story, child. Her side, the psychiatrist's side, and the truth. We ain't heard from the psychiatrist, and we probably won't. Her side, it is what it is. She could be telling the 100% truth, but we don't know that. So I'm going off of what she said and how I think about what she said. Again, y'all, I took notes because, whoo. All right. One, she did disclose that her diagnosis is ADHD. The stuff we are seeing in these videos has zero to do with the ADHD. Well, I take that back. Some people with ADHD tend to hyper focus on things. So, yeah. Here's what though. She mentioned the word limerence. This is not limerence. One of the key elements of limerence is that there is an uncertainty about what the other person feels. You have an infatuation with them. You may feel in love with them, but there is a clear uncertainty about how they feel. Now, the reason I say that is because she made a video stating that he somehow gave her the impression that he felt some type of way about her too. So now you're no longer uncertain, so therefore it cannot be limerence. It's not limerence anyway. Just be clear, it's not. Now y'all know how I am with words, so what I'm about to do is I'm gonna tell y'all what limerence is. Limerence is a state of intense infatuation and longing, often involving uncertainty about the other person's feelings. That is limerence. That is not this. That is not this. Now, one of the content creators who I follow, who I really, really like, brought up erotomania. Possibly. It is a delusional disorder. It is a disorder in which you believe with no proof that someone is in love with you and that someone is of higher status in some way or unattainable. In this case, your psychiatrist would be unattainable because ethically they cannot be in a relationship with you. They cannot be in love with you. Now, some might say, now you can't help who you fall in love with. This is true. But ethically, if a mental health professional were to start to gain feelings for a client, it would be within their ethical guidelines to cut off that therapeutic relationship or that professional relationship and refer them out. Okay? Now, here's another thing I want to clarify real quick for y'all, the difference between counselors, psychiatrists specifically. Because a lot of people are like, this is your psychiatrist. Why on earth are you seeing your psychiatrist this often? And she mentioned that she was seeing him once a month, when typically if your medication is being managed and you don't need any changes, you see your psychiatrist once every 3 months. However, she says she was seeing him once a month. Fine. But the difference between a counselor and a psychiatrist, one, I cannot prescribe medication. A psychiatrist can, which is why most clients go to psychiatrists for medication management. I have clients who I see weekly or biweekly. They go see a psychiatrist for their medication. Usually, clients see counselors for their talk therapy. Medication and talk therapy go hand in hand for a lot of people, and it often works better that way. Like, you end up better off, you have a better well being. You manage your symptoms of whatever diagnosis you have better when you are doing both. Okay? That's not to say you got to stay in therapy forever. You don't. Plenty of people take breaks from therapy, but it is to say that they go hand in hand. Now, here's what though, the ethics of it all. Ethically, the psychiatrist was not wrong to continue seeing her it was more of a benefit to continue to see her and manage her medication. Okay. It threw me because it's a psychiatrist, and in my mind, she wouldn't have been going to the psychiatrist for therapy. Like, if this was a therapist, we sometimes do more harm cutting a client off. If you can help that client process their feelings and work on what they need to work on, then it's best to keep them versus cut them off, because that could do more harm. And like medical providers, first do no harm. We will not do harm to a client intentionally. So it's not unethical that the psychiatrist kept seeing her. Now, what would have been unethical is if that psychiatrist reciprocated feelings towards her in any way. But we don't know if the psychiatrist did that. Now, do we? We only know what she said. And honestly, what she is doing seems really, really delusional and obsessive. But that's just me. Now, here's what though. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of background on my ethics, because counselors have a code of ethics, psychiatrists have a code of ethics. I have no clue what theirs says. I don't have to. I'm not a psychiatrist. But in mine, it makes it clear in section 5 that you cannot have romantic or sexual relationships with a current client. You cannot be a therapist or counselor to someone that you were previously in any type of relationship with. And for former clients, if you want to be with a former client, it is stated that you must wait 5 years since the last point of contact to start that relationship. Meaning, for 5 years, you could not have talked to that person in any form. Not email, not snail mail, not DMs, text messages, nothing. No contact. 5 years. Then you could try that relationship if you want to. Now, it is very common, though, for clients to develop feelings for their mental health provider. Very common. And I know that may seem off to some people, but you got to think about this specific type of relationship that a therapist and client have, or even possibly a psychiatrist and a client. This is sometimes the first person that this client has ever had actually care for them, or this is the first time they feel seen and heard. And this is also a very intimate relationship where they are fully opening up to this person about past traumas, relationships, feelings, thoughts, all that. So, yeah, it is quite common for clients to develop romantic feelings for their therapist or their psychiatrist or whoever. We don't have to stop seeing them if they disclose that information to us, if we believe that we can help them process those feelings and figure out the root of it. But now, if we can't, and it feels outside of our scope of practice, then we need to ethically do the right thing and refer them out. So, I don't really have much more of an opinion on this outside of that. If y'all have questions, please feel free. Feel free. If I can answer it, I will. If I don't know the answer, I will find it. And if I can't find it, then hey, I'll tell you somebody who may be able to answer it. But yeah, this is off to me. This is off to me. And then what's even more off is the first video she did. She was saying that she just wanted to talk about it to see if any other people had experienced it, but then she cut all of her comments off, which is really strange. But anyway, I've heard a lot of people's thoughts on this, and again, I believe that this is a little bit off. And then, too, sidebar, I think somebody said that the psychiatrist in question is a person of color, is a man. I don't know if he's a black man or just some other POC. But in that case, that adds another layer, because you are talking about a white woman saying these things. Now, she did say she does not want him doxxed. She does not want him to lose his license and all these things. And people are wondering, like, why protect him? He's a predator. But you don't know that. You only know her side of this. For all you know, she could be completely delusional. Also, it could be a cluster B personality disorder known as histrionic disorder, but I'm not going to go there either because, again, I'm not diagnosing her. It's just my professional opinion. And let me be clear real quick in case anybody comes at it from this angle. I am not trying to shame this woman in any way. I am not saying she is lying. None of that. As I said at the beginning of this video, there are 3 sides to every story. Also, multiple things can be true at the same time, but neither here nor there. This is basically me giving you professional opinions as if this was a case study. If this was a case study presented to me in a classroom or among colleagues, this is how it would be discussed, right? We don't know if she's telling the truth or not. We don't know the psychiatrist side of the story. So this is just based off of what I did see in the videos that I did watch. This is my professional opinion on that. with some education in regards to our codes of ethics and limerence and erotomania and things like that. So I hope y'all learned some things. And I hope you also understand that I'm not trying to shame this woman. She could very well 100% be a victim, and she also could very well 100% not be. That does not mean that she's a liar. That means that she could be dealing with a diagnosis that she herself doesn't even know. Because for her, she knows about her ADHD diagnosis. She may not be aware of the others. There is sometimes a lack of awareness or a lack of self awareness with what you are dealing with, especially when we get into cognitive distortions and delusions. You think it's real. So this is in no way me shaming her. I want to make that very clear. Think about this video as if I was presenting a case study. And honestly, once you make something public like that on a platform as big as TikTok, it's pretty much what you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of feedback from people who aren't professionals. You're going to get feedback from people who are professionals. It is perfectly okay for us to give our professional opinions and even our personal opinions on these situations. But no, I am not shaming her. I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just presenting points to the case and trying to bring nuance to it along with education. So keep that clear before y'all try to jump on me for that part of it. All right? All right. So, yeah, y'all give me y'all thoughts or your questions or whatever may have you, but that's mine. I may have some things to add later. We'll see. But y'all have a beautiful, wonderful rest of y'all day, and I will holler at y'all later.